I don't know if you saw, and I don't think that you care. So I want you to know up front, I don't think you care. But what happened yesterday with me on CNN, I couldn't take it anymore. I was asked to go on and talk about why the media just isn't heard by the right. Okay. All right. Well, see, I made a mistake of actually watching the show that I was about to be on. And it was example after example after example of exactly why nobody's listening to the media. First of all, they have the editor of Time Magazine on to explain away why it's perfectly fine to run that picture and take it out of context. It's perfectly fine. Even the photographer didn't have a problem with it. Oh, well, I'm going to remember that. And the next time we want to take a picture out of context, I'm sure you're going to react exactly the same way. Then that was followed by George Takei. Now, George is known as a uniter, and George gets on to talk about the American internment camps for the Japanese, something that I am really very passionate about because, well, it's another example of the progressives being anything but progressive, showing who they actually are. So he gets on and he's saying how what's happening on the border is exactly the same, that it's happening again. Well, George, I would like to point out there are a few differences. However, what I couldn't get past was how CNN was just so willing to put that on the air and no pushback. I mean, gosh, as I said to Brian Stelter later, Brian, what's next? FEMA camps? You see, I was called a crazy man for even saying that this kind of stuff will come, even saying that it may not be this president that does it, but it could be the next or the one after that. I was a conspiracy theorist for saying that it could come, but now that George Takei wants to declare that it has come and it is here, it's all perfectly fine. And I know that if I would have gotten on in 2014 and showed the pictures of the cages, I could have said, my gosh, it looks like the Japanese internment camps. I'm sure Brian and everybody at CNN would have said, well, he makes a good point. No. You want to know why people aren't listening to you? Watch your own show. Try that. But I want you to know, the reason why I walked off the show yesterday had nothing to do with the question. It had everything to do with him proving me correct every step of the way. And my time is more valuable than that. I would have rather been having breakfast with my kids. It's a waste of time. And I really thought Brian would be a guy who might actually be open to hearing it. But no. Even the Washington Post implied that he was lying in wait for me with his, quoting the Post, his sly smile. Now, I don't even believe that. The Washington Post was making it sound like he was waiting and laying in wait. Wow. Okay. Look, here's the thing. My fight, the stuff that I fight with every day, that's business. That's not big. That's not a big deal. Nobody cares about that. The fight that is actually going on is the oldest fight known to man. Do each of us have integrity, the strength, the will, the intelligence, and the courage to rule ourselves, to be consistent and fair-minded? Do we have the wisdom and the restraint to not just try to rule over everyone else?